Dr. Lee Sandra, in relation to your third development of the position of this timer, you can have a way in by the border foundation. Each border foundation is a rework home by the position of the timer and to control itself into the unity of law. Each law is a practicing program to design day 10 in relation to the news reporter. Any news reporter that you have an upgrade to 4325, which is the fifth position for the conduct. The conduct is the realignment of time to send the sun through the signal of pigmentation. This pigmentation is also foundation to work out the drag queen. In the matter of time, the position of a timer for Sydney diecast is a returning home by the fifth border to dimension the element of design and to conclude the element of design. In this way, the contour of Bodhana, Badana, Danana, Dalala is the position of the vocabulary. The vocabulary is hard to understand the segmentation of law, and in that way it sings a song through. So, eat well, live well, be on the border of number 5 to the position of a timer, to control itself into the maximum number of oil, to defend itself into the unity of law, and to interlude technology. In that time, when we work out the data core technology, it will reposition itself into this concept. The alignment of time is the manner of law based upon the element of law and the condor of law by the maximum number of oil tree. The position of the timer is the consa of law based upon the third development by the also. So, Dr. Lee, how do you do the vocabulary to know that you are positioning yourself into the correx? Any correx of the dimension is the element of design to control itself into the manuscript. Any manuscript will be the banana of law based upon the element of law by the condor. And in so, if you reverse the manner 5, you will reposition itself into the tongue. The tongue. I drink a lot of water. Body figure number 3. So, how come you do not know the condor of 5C, 6C, 1C by the detention? In that time, by the detention, the rework of the news reporter, whatever news reporter, the conclusion of the journal is the maximum number of Doyle, and the ikana of Da, and the chakana of Na. In that way, when you work out 8 shot, you will reprogram yourself into the oil tree number 1. So, perhaps relaxing is good for you to control your mind power, Yoda. But in the maximum number of mind power is the minimum number of, mimolists in relation to lists. Each list for the plural by the dictionary is the condor of Na, and Na termed by Na is the element of the design. Control number 5. The dimension to control number 5 is the diversity of mankind to have the mind power. It happened in Sydney when Alton used the phone. So in that way, it works out the data core of technology. The correx is the position of a timer to understand the concept of art. Each art is a demisal to perform itself into teachers and to understand cartoon. The cartoon character is a realignment of time to condor in the transmission. Any transmission by this computer system is the maximum number of deformation, not deformation. In deformation of round 1 fight, round 2 fight is the Instagram of the technology by the Windmana by Lawyer 5. And in that term you have Pananana, position of the timer. I'll be back in a minute. I like Hybertron. In the maximum number of Hybertron for the reworking of mankind is to position itself in the correx. Any correx of this detention center is the alignment of time to send the sun through. Is there a missing part in relation to Telebed? I'll be back in a minute. The fifth division to complex itself is network 1. In a matter of time, if the democracy of law is the intention of law, is the alanana of law and the instrument of law. But the fifth border to domain itself into the manana of law is the reversity of mankind to conclude the element of design and to reprogram the element of design. So Dr. Lee Sandra, in relation to your vocabulary, the understanding of the brain power is the maximum number of oil by the machine. Any machine that you have the brain capacity of the news reporter, you can conclude the element of design and to perform the network of one. Easy, isn't it? The maximum number of the oil tree is the intention of number 3245, which is the fifth position. In that time, when you work out the kanana of law, is the alanana of this computer. There is nothing wrong with this computer. It is not booting. But some of the boot sticks does not display. In this CD player, I wrote it. The model number is RB00, this 8. So in RB00 is the element of the design, or 1-3. In the accuracy of law, see, when you do things, simple law and accurate law is the diameter to draw. But in the measurement of time, the God signature is the confunction of the element and to send the signal through. So in which way you will form the ruler 1 by the attention to know on the inner. So lies in relation to your democracy of law, the plaintiff say to me, do not arrogate the lil. What does that mean? Lies. But in time, the maximum. Yes. You will see weird things in me. The Galaga. The Galaga. On Facebook number 3241, which is the number of 3243, and the fifth deployment of 3241 for YouTube on 1-on-1, Dimension on 2-on-2, YouTube 3246 BFG15, SID SID 1248, Andy 1348, SID 1241, SID 1341, HID 15, LCD 16, and HTC 15. In HTC, the rework on maturity of law is the transmission of the program to border dimension of law. That iPhone is $600 at the post office. I can't afford it. In relation to the state trustee, the interlude of technology is the position of your time to wing into the also foundation. In that time, the prerogative of mankind will be the teleport to provision itself into the onset of law, by the fifth border. The dimension is 13245, which is the Tanna. The evolution of time is the Panana, and the ringsail of law, based upon the element of law, by the convision. The convision is 1C25, 1625, and 1425 in relation to digital God. The digital God is the conference of law based upon this sun by the third diameter. In the third diameter of the wing, you will reprogram itself into the also foundation by the position of a timer into control itself into the nanana. In that way and in this way, the also foundation will rewind itself into the maximum number of oil tree to reposition itself into the codex. The codex is 1, see? Which way to know NASA and which way to know cosmos, nova, in relation to nova, NASA, cosmos, the 3 element. In the 3 element of the console, you will position yourself into the corex, and in that way the corex will pin out the data core of 1 cent, 1 cent in relation to the telemore. Dr. T. The reversity of mankind is the position of the also. When you understand the short lies, you will have programming yourself into the also foundation. And in that time, when you have Pandana of law, is the democracy of law by the Tanana. And in the matter of time, when you work out the corex, you will repin out the Pandana, the sun. When I buy torch, I will demonstrate you the sun. You can make movies. Yes. In that time, when you work out data core technology is 1.18. It changes, Alan, but the condition of method is 6p. So, I've been to New South Wales in relation to the console. In New South Wales, the document is a retimer to repin itself into the cortex. Any cortex understanding the relaxation of Yoda is the minimum number of movie intensifier and director number 3 in tune. The director number 3 is the anana of technology by the win-in win-in. So, when you draw things, is a democracy of law based upon ana of digital art. In digital art, it is the conference of the majority of law by the answer to me. But and perhaps in the sun of the element, the also foundation will work out the aura. In relation to the aura of 3353, 6363 is a dimension in this drawer. In that time, digital God, the conference of your majority of law, is the intermission, and in time it will sing out to you. 11 minutes.